First thing I'll say is please hit the like button, because I'm probably going to put myself through a lot of pain reacting to this one position in particular. So yeah, please hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy.
24th is Charlton Athletic. I don't know why I built that up so much.
You know what? That's not even too bad, to be fair. Like, I think out of all the promoted sides of last season, they were the one that I knew the least about, so I just put them bottom. Maybe a little bit harsh looking back on it, but they still got relegated. And of course, with forward Charlton, I don't think what helped them in the latter stages of the season was their main man, Lau Taylor, just deciding, you know what, I can't be bothered to play for you anymore, I'm just going to bugger off. And I don't think that really helped. He was their top scorer. I don't know how many goals he got, but I mean, he beat Forest. I mean, that's not really that hard, is it?
23rd place, another promoted side, I'm afraid, Barnsley.
You know what, that's not even that bad. They've been in the relegation zone for most of the season, really. And, I mean, if it wasn't for Wigan getting docked those points, they would have still got relegated. But credit to them for putting up one hell of a fight against my team and Brentford, of course. So credit to them for that.
Just mentioned them, Millwall in 22nd.
Yeah, they kind of finished 8th in the league, didn't they? I don't think that's that bad. Like, who would have thought that they would go and have an absolute blinder? Like, I know they didn't get promoted, they weren't in the playoffs, but still, they exceeded all expectations, and they did lose one of their best players in the league, I agree. So, I'm not even too annoyed about that.
21st place is going to be the only promoted side surviving, Luton Town. Now, Luton haven't really made a huge amount of signings. Callum McManaman, who's got a lot of experience with Wigan, and Jacob Butterfield, who used to play for, Derby. I'm sorry, I'm bad to say that word.
Unbelievable comedy there from me. This is the level we used to be at, lads. This is the level. And now we have a skit about owls and apple juice. You know what? Fair play to Luton Town. I really hope they'll stay up. I think a lot of people kind of rooted for them. You know, they've had a lot of issues off the pitch. They were in the National League not even that long ago. And the fact that they've survived their first season back in the Championship for God knows how many years, that is a mad achievement. And they didn't even just finish 20th. You know, they finished 19th, only by like 3 points. But saying that a lot of the season they were bottom, to finish 19th, fair play. Well done to Luton Town.
20th place for me is going to be Wigan. Now, this team could do a little bit better than I'm predicting.
It really is terrible what's happened to Wigan, really. Like, they were actually having a really good season, and I think towards the end of the season, like, they were actually the informed team in the league, and the fact that they've ended up getting relegated, and it wasn't even their fault, it was the EFL's fault. And I've actually thought about doing a completely separate video about Wigan. So let me know in the comments, would you like me to do a vegan? A vegan. Perfect English, David. A video about Wigan. Makes more sense. Let me know if you want to see that, lads. But Wigan, 20th. Maybe that was a little bit harsh, but I don't remember. I think last season, the season before that, more like, I think they were around about that, so probably fair.
19th place for me is going to be Reading.
Reading had a very Reading kind of season, just mid-table mediocrity, really. Not really much to share about, let's be honest. I'm surprised. I think they actually did a little bit better than I thought they would. They were about 12th at one point, I think, not even that long ago. Maybe it's a little bit harsh there, but still, mediocre season without a doubt.
18th place, Qpr. Now, they are being run by our former manager, Mark Warburton.
This one was a little bit harsh, to be honest, because at times QPR were actually potentially in the playoff race. I mean, not so much the second half of the season, but I think at the start of the season they were actually in the playoffs for quite a bit. They finished 13th in the end. I mean, pretty mediocre, bang average, I think. I mean, they did better than I predicted, so maybe a little bit harsh on them there, but I'm not really that bothered about that, I'll be honest.
17th place for me is going to be Preston. Preston have got a good manager in Alex Neil, but they haven't really got that much quality. They really struggled last season, then they had quite a good ending, but they really tailed off.
Another one that I got wrong, they finished 9th in the end, and at times they were quite comfortably, well, I don't know about comfortably, but they were in the playoffs, and they were top at one stage, I seem to remember. So, yeah, I don't really know why I put Preston so low. Alex Neil, good manager, they've still got a lot of decent players, Preston North End, so, you know, I think they will be at it again next season, going for promotion, so yeah, a little bit harsh that one, I'll be honest.
16th place, Birmingham City.
I can't have any criticism about this, because this is such a Birmingham position, really. Like, for years on end now, they've just been bottom half, not really doing much. And Birmingham should be doing better than they are. Like, they're representing a very big city like Birmingham. Villa, of course, are the ones in the Premier League, but, it'd be nice to see Birmingham at least compete. It looks really unlikely. They actually ended up finishing 20th. That is actually really quite embarrassing. 2 points off relegation.
15th place, Blackburn Rovers, the only team outside the Premier League to have won the Premier League.
Did you see that unbelievable editing there? Because that was not meant to happen. That was not meant to happen. The zoom effect. Don't ask how, but somehow I forgot to talk about Blackburn themselves. I just made a stupid joke about the editing and then just moved on for some reason. But Blackburn overall, not a bad season. I think a lot of it, they actually were kind of pushing for players, and at times they were even in the top 6. But again, like lots of clubs, very inconsistent. Still got some good players, so you never know. Next season, they could go again and be even stronger.
14th place, Hull City.
Wow. I could not have got that any more wrong if I tried. Like, Jarrod Bowen carried Hull beyond words, and Grzycki, and when they were with them, they actually were around about 14th and higher. I think they were like 9th briefly at one stage. Like, they were pretty above mid table. They have absolutely capitulated. We think Forest did. They capitulated. I'm sorry if you're a Hull fan, because it must be so depressing supporting you. Like, how you lose your 2 best players and it affects you that badly. I do think you'll come back up there next season. Like, if you can't get out of League One, that'll be really quite bad.
13th place, Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday, really, really weird season for them. They had lots of periods and many times where they were actually in the playoff race, and I generally thought they were going to get it at one stage, but I think Derby also had this as well. They were rumoured to be dot like 20 odd points, which would see them get relegated to League One, but it seemingly isn't going to happen. I presume they got away with it. And that clearly has affected them psychologically. And I just think in general their form's dipped under Gary Monk, of course. It's really mad how they finished 16th. No, I think in December, no one would have thought that. Owley was absolutely fuming about it.
12th place, Stoked City. This team massively underperformed last year.
Loads of Stoke fans are giving me abuse in the live stream comments, and the comment section to that stream is just pure. I can't even say it on camera. It's just an absolute disgrace. Yeah, they gave me loads of sticks saying I was making out that they're being, rubbish. Honestly, I think Stoke have actually got some pretty decent players. They should have done better. 12th, at least. I think they should have done around about that. They had a really bad season, and Michael O'Neill has saved them.
11th place for me is going to be Brentford.
Wow, I got that one so wrong. Brentford have been incredible this season. They've got so many good players. Ollie Watkins, of course, their main man. But I'll tell you this, the reason why, and I think I'll say it in a minute, is because they lost Neil Maupay and players like that. I thought it would really affect them. But it's actually been the complete opposite. Brentford have had an absolute blinder. And if it wasn't for the fact that they did quite a Forest thing, in bottling it, they would have been promoted already.
Neil Mappick or something.
Neil Mappick. Okay, I think at this point he hadn't actually left to go to Brighton, but obviously he did end up doing that.
10th place, Huddersfield, the first relegated Premier League team.
Well. 11th place for Huddersfield Town. Yes, I don't understand what happened to them. They still have quite a lot of players that had in the Premier League. From what I know, still got that core group of players. I know lots of the likes of Aaron Moy, but they still have Mounier and Schindler and players like that, and Lozel. I'm really surprised that Huddersfield nearly got relegated. They nearly got relegated.
9th place, Swansea City.
Well, most of the season this would have been perfectly fine, because a lot of the seasons Swansea have been around 11th to 7th place. Because of my team, they ended up getting 6th. Fair play to them. They wanted it more on that day. I'm sorry I keep mentioning it, but it literally happened yesterday at the time we were recording this, so it's still really quite fresh. But I'm going off topic again. Swansea still got a lot of very good players. I think the signing of Reece Brewster in January really helped them out. He's been one hell of a player. I think if they do go up, they could maybe persuade him to go on loan again. Only I highly doubt Liverpool will actually sell him, because he's got a lot of potential quite clearly. Still got a lot of good players like Grimes, and AU's been fantastic, of course. And one of the reasons, I'll say in a minute, they lost McBurney and Daniel James, okay? I think it was fair to put them 9th.
No bias. 8th place, Derby in 8th.
I genuinely did not mean that. And at one stage, it looked like this was actually going to be quite laughable. But in the end, it was more or less bang on.
They've lost Lampard, they've lost Wilson, they've lost Mount.
And that is exactly the reason why I put Derby in 8th. And you know what? Saying that they have lost those players, the fact that they finished 10th is actually quite impressive. I mean, I say impressive, it's actually quite fair. Because like most of the season, they were nowhere near 10th. Like, I think every Derby fan could admit that. I'm not just trying to wind you up. Okay, I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can with this. You know, you weren't anywhere near getting the playoffs, were you?
7th place, Bristol City.
To be fair, this isn't even that bad, really. Because, like, Bristol, a lot of the season, they were in the playoffs. And they had a lot of spells when they weren't. And, again, like my team, you know, a lot of the time, they go from being incredible to just being absolutely abysmal. And it's not just Forest, it's not just Bristol City. Every team, literally. I don't think any other team, bar Leeds, apart from when they lost to Cardiff, other than that, Leeds are the only team I think that have been consistently great since they've come back, and including the Premier League. No one in the Premier League I think has been consistent. I know Brentford were, but even they bottled it a bit.
I put Forest in 6th place. Don't know why I saw on the table there.
I'll just describe our season in one statement. Overall, mainly fantastic. A lot of blips, just like Sheffield Wednesday, of course, Millwall. And we were comfortable in the playoffs for a long time. But Forest somehow managed to do the most Forest thing of all time and somehow let a 4-goal swing slip and finish outside the playoffs.
5th place, Middlesbrough.
Well, this is probably the most embarrassing one of the lot, really, isn't it? I mean, to be fair to myself, Borough were actually in the playoffs basically the entirety of the previous season. But just like Forest, they completely actually threw it away. And I think they finished like 8th in the end. I don't even know. They definitely didn't get it. They just capitulated. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, they'll bounce back. But no, they nearly got relegated, which isn't at all encouraging for me going into this season.
They've got Jonathan Woolgate in charge, of former player, of course.
Yeah, he did terrible, really, didn't he? From what I know, a lot of Borough fans really didn't like his tactics. He had no idea what he was doing. So I'm surprised. I really am surprised that he stayed in the job as long as he did. Neil Warnock, I think he's going to do well for you next season. I really do.
4th place, the second Premier League team to get relegated, Cardiff City.
Looking back on this a few weeks ago, you'd think, what the hell? Why would I put, you know, to be fair, like Cardiff 4th, Premier League team last season, I thought I was fair. Most of the season, they have been well and truly out the playoffs. They've been far from it, you know, they have. The fact they've managed to get it is incredible. It's a credit to them.
3rd place, West Brom.
Okay, I was on the verge of this becoming reality, but let's be honest, all season, West Brom have been brilliant. You know, they have. Them and Leeds, it was only right that both of them were going to go up after most of this season. I think it's going to be tough for them in the Premier League. I do. I don't really know why I put them 3rd. I really don't. I think it's because of the two teams coming up.
2nd place, automatic promotion, Fulham.
I am surprised that Fulham didn't do a little bit better than they actually did. Of course, they finished 4th, and quite a lot of the time, I seem to remember at the start of the season they weren't actually even in the playoffs for that much, of course. But most of the time they have. On paper, personally, I think they are better than West Brom, in my opinion. Maybe it's equal, I don't know. I do think that they've got a very good chance to win the playoffs. I still think Brentford will win them. I think they will, and even if Forster got them, I think Brentford would have won them. Honestly, I do.
The team that I think will be automatically promoted champions, I think you all know who it is by now. Leeds United.
Not really a surprise at all, is it? They've got a fantastic team, some fantastic manager, you know, a Premier League manager without a doubt. Lots of experience, brilliant players. Yes, okay, they bottle it occasionally, but this season, they never were. They were never going to bottle it. I know they had a period where they were kind of doing it, but realistically, it was never going to happen. I think Leeds could actually do well next season. I think they could stay up. Only, I think in one or two ways, they could get battered, or they could maybe become a bit like a Southampton, a team that are always in the Premier League, never really too worried about going down. Most of the time, they're pretty much secure. I could see them becoming a team like that, and it would be good to see Leeds become a staple of the Premier League, at least. But there we go, that is it for my Championship prediction reaction video. I'll be doing another prediction video for this and the Premier League as and when the season starts up again in about September, because of course it would normally be August. But there will be prediction videos for that, and plenty of build-up for Fies as we do go to try and actually finally get out the bloody championship and not bottle it for once. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, lads, and I'll see you very soon.